Spoilers.
Yo, what is good? Soldier Only here with the Walking Dead podcast, Talking Decay.
As well as the one and only Fusha.
Welcome to this week's episode. Last night was actually, I'm not sure what episode, like the actual number it is, but we know we're getting down to the end of the season because there's only 3 episodes left now.
Let's see, we're in March now. It came out like Valentine's, at least 5th or 6th episode by now.
Well, there's 8 in the first half. Well, they split it 8 and 8. So this was about the 5th one of the B season.
Yeah, 5th or 6th one is what I'm thinking.
Because there's 3 left.
Yeah.
And it was a really good one. I mean, it was a really good one. We're finally getting to see Morgan and Carroll get their groove back, so to speak.
Yes, and I have mad respect for Morgan, because he didn't want to be the one to tell Carol the bad news, but just the respect he had of what you talked with Daryl is between you two.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see him change when you realize that other fucker got the kid killed. Then it was just like, yeah, she. But at the time when Daryl told her that everyone was okay, she needed to hear that everyone was okay.
It's funny, yeah, because it's a tough situation, because when that episode aired, when Daryl said that to her, I agreed with Daryl then,
mm-hmm.
and like you're saying, I agreed with Morgan at the beginning of this one.
And I love the end on how she gives up her cottage for him. He's like, you can go and not go.
It's kind of her saying, like, here, do this, it worked for me.
Yeah, because he knows...
Like, this is what you need.
He knows he saw Carol in a stage where she was straight savage.
Well, I love how at the beginning when he said the same thing what was said between you and Daryl was between you two, during that same conversation he also says, did you find what you were looking for, or was it too late to get away? And she didn't answer him, she was just crying, but you could tell she didn't find what she was looking for. She's realizing that even though she was away from everyone, she still cared. When Daryl showed up, she still asked if everyone was okay.
And you could see the genuine excitement in her.
And the episode actually started with her having nightmares.
Yeah.
And then she stormed to the kingdom and went to Morgan and asked, is everyone okay at Alexandria?
Yeah, because that's when she found out that everybody else showed up. And she's like, why were they all here?
Yeah, see, I never thought about that. From her point of view, she's going to wonder, like, why is Jesus bringing them here?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. And Morgan, being the good person he is, he also didn't lie to her either. He said Jesus brought them here to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't a lie. He just didn't say the full reason why.
I really, really love how Morgan, at the end, is the one that kills the guy that initiated the kid dying. But I love how he's so condescending and saying to the saviors, we get it. This is me showing you we get it.
I mean, we're also kind of skipping a lot of things, but Richard, the one who, that Daryl fought with because he came up with that genius plan to lead the saviors to Carroll.
And Daryl was like, no.
So, and then he obviously came up with another brilliant plan of making them late to their drop.
And
with
then
the saviors,
and
then hiding some of the offering. And he thought that they would kill him. And in fairness, Gavin did say that he would be the first one they killed. So he legitimately thought they would kill him. But you can't
believe anything they say. They're gonna tell you one thing and turn around and do the other just because they told you what they were gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to know what you're gonna do, which is why I love when the saviors weren't around. Morgan was sharpening his stick, and he's just like, we're fighting.
Yeah, we'll get to that, too. That was the literal last scene that it showed. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but...
I'm a little sporadic. I've been having a bad case of the Mondays, so.
I know. You always jump so far ahead, too. But I know I'm trying to start from the beginning and then get there.
Well, that's why I'm not good at jokes. I tell the punchline before I start with the punchline. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Right. But yeah, he sabotaged the meat, you know, because then he thought that they would kill him. In a weird way, though, like, okay, is it kind of like an egotistical thing to think, oh, if the saviors kill me, it's gonna affect Ezekiel enough to go to war? You know, like, because he has to have that thought that, like, Ezekiel cares about me this much that if I died, for his plan to work. But if it was Richard that died, I think he would have. I think Ezekiel, in all fairness, I think Ezekiel would have went to war.
I kind of disagree, just because Ezekiel knows there was bad blood between Richard, to where there had been warning signs for that. There had been so many warning signs that he wouldn't have.
So it wouldn't have been a big shock, and that's true. That's a good point.
Like, and I mean, I'm not saying that Ezekiel doesn't care about Richard in any way, you know, because he does. Mm-hmm. He just would be leaning a little more towards.
Oh, I saw this coming. And,
yeah, exactly.
Oh well, you know, like yeah.
And that intro when they're doing that was the shortest intro ever, and it was just like,
it was another one of those flash forward intros they do.
Yeah.
Okay, see, when you normally see a movie or TV show that starts
at the end,
right? You know, then when it comes back, it will normally say like 12 hours earlier or 2 days earlier or however, you know what I mean? It lets you know. But every time Walking Dead has done this, they don't tell you. So later in the episode, when it showed that same scene again, it's like, oh, that was the scene from the opener. That's what it was. It was a flash forward.
It's like
they don't tell you when it goes back, like, 12 hours earlier.
Well, yeah, it's like I don't know if you can necessarily say subliminal, but it's like a
in a way,
sneak
it is.
Spoiler.
And that's just how
you figure out it leads to that part. So it like shows that part, and it's like, I get it. You know, you get that connection.
Well, remember when the opener first aired? It was literally like a 5-second opener. But remember when it first aired, we were kind of like, well, there was a puddle of blood in there. But
I know. There was an opener a couple weeks ago where it was a longer open scene, and it had already gone through the intro and then into the commercial and back to the show that I had forgotten even. I turned to you and I was like, did it do the intro? Because the intro is longer than what I expected. You know, like it caught me off guard. I was like, oh yeah, we already did. They did the intro.
Was that last week's or was it 2 weeks? It wasn't last week. I think
it was 2 weeks, because last week was the sexcation.
We kind of have to talk about that episode too, don't we? Because we didn't do our episode after that.
Week. Yeah, it's actually been like 2 weeks. So I mean, we can take it back to even Rick and Michonne.
That was a good episode. I mean, I liked it having an episode of just those two, and it was such a good episode too because. Look what they found. You know, they found all this food. They found some guns.
But you know what I don't like? For how much guns they found, they take them to the scavengers or whatever they're called, and they're like, this isn't enough. It's like, do you not know how to fight? I don't get good vibes from them. Like, yeah, they can be kind of, like, I don't know. I don't get good vibes from them. I know I can't judge too soon, but I get the feeling once they help defeat Negan, if in any way they succeed, they're gonna turn around and be like, okay,
they're
now
like
you work
the next
for us.
Bad guys.
Yeah, they're gonna flip what Negan used to do to them. And be like, oh well, now that we got him out of the equation, you're gonna do that. You're gonna start bringing everything to us, and that's what I don't
think they could do that to our group though.
I don't think they would be able to do it to our group, but that doesn't mean they're not gonna try.
Well, that's obviously a fair point.
Because she's already been trying. Remember when they first came across him? She's like, "You belong to me now." And he's like, no, I'm already owned.
I'm already owned by Negan.
See, so she's just gonna try and control them, and I don't like them. They're not original. They waited so long for somebody to get the supplies off the boat and then rob them.
And that's just so weird. Yeah, that's just so weird. Like
they don't really care for any trouble or anything at all. But they're not out there getting things themselves. They're waiting for people to find things for them and then taking it from the people who already got them. So it makes me wonder, are they even going to be a good defense against Negan? Yeah,
because how much have they fought?
Yeah. And they don't actually go out and do the physical work that you have to do, and it kind of goes hand in hand with experience and technique. To you do it daily, killing walkers and
because look how good our group is. Yeah.
See, so if you just wait around and wait to catch somebody when their guard is down and be like, oh hey, yeah, I see we have all these supplies, I'm gonna take them all from you or you're dead. And it's like, well.
But how they say it, they say like we don't meddle. So like I don't think they're like really violent that much. I think they just surround them with all these numbers and just take their crap.
Yeah.
I don't think they do like what Negan and them do, what the Saviors do, where they actually kill you.
Exactly. Like I just.
But they are still a shady group.
Yeah, I don't trust them, and I feel like they're just not necessarily lazy, but like I said, it just goes hand in hand. Like, how can you fight people like Negan when all you do is outnumber somebody that you've kept an eye on, that you keep tabs on, and then you see that, oh, okay, they finally got what you want, let's go outnumber them and take their things and leave them for dead. You know, without actually having the strength or courage or fight to do what the original people had to do to get it. It just doesn't go to show for too much technique or experience, in my opinion. And then the way she said they needed more guns, it's like hatchets, crowbars. Look at the, what was the name of the zombie they created?
Oh, God, what was that name?
It was Williamson.
Oh, I can't remember what it was.
Codsworth?
No, that's Fallout 4.
Yeah, that is Fallout 4.
I can't remember what they called them, but it was funny. Yeah, there's something about him. Because what was it? He said there was like 63 guns there they got him.
Yeah, 63, yeah.
And she still wanted like pretty much all of them. And then he's like, no, let us keep like 10 or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they even, that our group got to keep that many of them.
Yeah, it was like 10 or 15, I think. But
I mean, the advantage that the help that they do give the survivors, like our group, is just the numbers, you know? Like, that's what Rick saw, was the numbers.
And I know that's exactly why he had the smile. I just hope that their numbers are enough to make them efficient to go against Negan, because sometimes it's not all about numbers. If they're not smart, if they can't shoot, if they can't...
Especially because Negan has mad numbers.
Or think, like, on the... Like, if they can't think in the moment when something goes wrong to hurry and fix it and do something else, like quick thinking and reaction, then the numbers aren't really going to be anything. They're just going to be more dead people.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you also have to figure, like, how far into the apocalypse they are.
Yeah.
And anyone that's really still alive, you know, has got to be pretty good at carrying their own, unless you've been in a community like Alexandria was, like how Spencer and them were, you know, like when they found the Alexandria community, they were so sheltered, like they didn't have to deal with anything. But these people, the scavengers or whatever they're called, they've been living like out in a trash heap. So I'm sure they've had a fight, you know, I'm sure they have somewhat experience, but it's still, if they go to war against Negan with our group, they are going to lose a lot of them.
Yeah, well, and it's like, what's his name? God, why am I just forgetting everything? Like I said, a terrible case of the Mondays. It's a bad issue. But, oh God, what is his name? The mullet guy.
Eugene.
Eugene, yeah, that's his name. See, like Eugene, he doesn't know how to fight and actually stand up. What's gotten him through this is his words, his book smarts. His book smarts
and his ability to lie, too.
And that's what I feel like the scavengers might have a little more book smart rather than tech, like, hands-on. So I'm kind of, I still don't trust him.
Yeah, because something about her seems that she might be pretty well educated, you know, like how she talks.
Yeah.
She has, like, confidence to her for something. Yeah. I think she might be able to fight. I can see her being a good fighter, but I don't know about, you know, the rest of her group, you know, could be. I mean, I think they're gonna have some good fighters, you know, but for the most part, I don't know. They're
and then like going into the episode with Rick and Michonne, I liked that they had a chance to be happy, and I think the main reason why Rick didn't want to go back and just kept saying 2 more days, 2 more days, 1 more day, 1 more day, is because he's in that mind frame of, I'm already out. I'm going to stay out while I can, where I don't have to worry. But I also kind of think it's him trying to hatch up a plan because he doesn't quite have one yet. He's kind of on the fly at the moment, too. Like, he knows what he needs to do. He knows what he wants to do, but he doesn't know how to do it yet.
That's the thing, because they're obviously still in just kind of the recruiting process. They sure as hell don't have a plan, like you're saying. And I agree. I mean, when that episode aired, remember how, like, you know, he kept saying that, you know, 2 more days, you know, whatever. And we were kind of like, why is he doing this? And that was the first thing that I thought was, yeah, he's doing this because, you know, he's not in Alexandria just sitting there waiting for Negan to show up, you know, so he's kind of from under his thumb a little bit to some extent. And then he's also with her, you know, and they need to find guns too, because remember, at that point, they still haven't found shit. And she's like, you know, we've been gone for quite a while, you know, we should get back, you know, we can always go back out again, which I agree with that to an extent, but
I like how it played out, how they were out long enough.
Because look what they found, you know, like, they found a jackpot.
Yes.
I mean, I hope that they can get back. I mean,
they weren't too smart about it, though, because, I mean, it seemed like they were going to snipe them from the roof, and then the roof caved in.
I think that was the plan.
And until I heard them laughing, I was thinking, oh, great, there's walkers in there, they're gone. But when you could still hear them laughing, then it was like, oh, wait, this isn't bad. And then you see what they find, and it's like, wow.
That's what I liked about it. It was a Walking Dead version of a rom-com.
Honestly, though, I felt like Rick didn't have his stuff together when he, like, gives Michonne, like, 8 or 9 or 11 or however many it was. And then he's trying to get one walker out of the car windshield. He goes to pull the boot, falls off. Goes to pull the pants, torso falls off. And it's like, Rick, we know you better than this.
And it was literally filmed like a comedy, too. Like, he ripped he was trying to pull him off, and first just his foot came off, and he, like, looked at it, and then throws it, and then grabs him by the legs. I'm like, that's not going to work, you know, and then he rips him in half, and that was, it had a lot of comedic moments, and he was definitely off his game, because remember, he wasn't sleeping.
That's true.
Remember, I noticed something about it, like, I'm like, he hasn't slept, like, at all in the few nights that it had already showed, and then later in the episode, he finally does tell Michonne, he's like, I haven't been sleeping.
Yeah.
And he makes the best point, too, and I didn't think about it, and this makes Glenn's death so much more heartbreaking. He said, Glenn was the one that saved me in day 1.
Yeah.
You know, when I woke up and it was back to episode 1, you know, hey dumbass, you in the tank, you know? He's like, Glenn saved me, you know, he was the first person who ever saved me, you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here, hands down. And he's like, and I couldn't even save him. And that just shows you how much that is affecting Rick.
Yeah. And it's rough. But then you also see, for the first time ever, Michonne's guard dropped. When Rick went to go after that deer, he didn't get it. She thought for sure he was dead.
Well, he fell off the Ferris wheel is what kind of got him screwed.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she has always been a very strong, independent character that isn't gonna let anything bad happen, especially to her. That, you know, when she thinks that Rick is dead,
she drops her sword.
She has never once ever froze like that. So it just goes to show how low her guard is, and it kind of makes me nervous because it is in the apocalypse. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to be emotional, but you gotta have like a thick skin. You gotta have a thick skin about it, and you know, behind closed doors, you know, show the love and everything, but support. But it's just like her guard went down so quick. She dropped her sword, and it was just like, oh no. I've never, ever, ever seen her so defenseless.
Yeah, and she's always like distance relationship, you know, and all this.
She has good reason to be.
But in Alexandria, you know, is when she finally let everything happen. But yeah, that was a pretty gnarly part, because I'm like, wait a minute, that did not look good. Like, but I'm like,
I know
no,
he wasn't dead. Though.
I know it's Rick. You know, it's like
they did the same thing when Glenn was still alive with that stupid person.
Nick, when, yeah.
Oh. You know, and it's like, no, but he wasn't really dead. You know, it's like magic trick.
Right. Well, remember when that happened? I was like, no, Glenn isn't dead. I know how he dies in the comics, and they're going to do that in the show because of how brutal it was in the comics, you know? And they did it. And
that's exactly why I didn't think that Rick was dead. I was like, no, he's not dead. He got away. They're not going to kill him. Like, yeah, they can kill him off at some point eventually, but they wouldn't kill him off like that.
No, yeah, for Rick to go, it would be...
They would have a deeper meaning as to why they killed him.
Yeah, it would be like a Glenn death. It would be brutal. It would be, like, super impactful. Like, it would be
something to make an example of.
Yeah.
More than it would be, oh, he
falls off a Ferris wheel and then just gets eaten. It's like, no, it's not going to be that stupid, you know?
Right, exactly. They're going to... And I know they're not afraid to lose anybody.
No, they're really not.
Yeah, see, and they have that availability where they could just kill anyone. And Rosita is on...
Oh, God. Yeah, her and Sasha, yeah, they're on a straight-up suicide mission.
Which isn't smart.
I mean, they even said on the end of the episode 2 weeks ago, not last night's, but the one the week before, they even said, this is only a one-way ticket.
And Sasha stated that as long as I take the shot, she's like, one condition, I'll help you, but you're going to let me take the shot.
Exactly, and Rosita's not going to. Rosita is too gung-ho. If it comes down to, like, somehow just one of them take, whatever happens, like, if it came down to that, like, there's no way in hell Rosita would let her take it.
Mm-mm.
We've seen the stupid decisions that Rosita's making right now and how dumb she's acting.
At first I felt bad for Rosita when Abraham laid that very cruel reality on her. When I first met you, I thought you were the last woman alive.
Turns out you weren't. And
yeah,
that was cold.
That was just heartless, you know?
That was bad.
And I mean, he could have been like, hey, I just not feeling it no more. And instead he went... So I think that alone kind of destroyed her, and it screws with her to this day, to where she's like...
Well, because nothing can come of it, you know, like, they can't, like, get back to, you know what I mean? Like, he's gone, you know, so it is what it is, you know, like, there's, like, no future of anything changing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's weird, because, remember, before he died, she had kind of gotten over it, remember? And her and Sasha had kind of called it cool to some extent.
Yeah.
But then once he died, like, their claws came out for each other again. But now they're almost bonding back again over his death.
Yeah.
Again, to some extent, you know? So, I mean, those two's relationship is really weird, so... I don't know. I mean, I've been telling you the last couple episodes. Obviously, I haven't read ahead in the comics or anything like that, so this is always just my theories and stuff, but I have a feeling we're going to lose Rosita by the season end, and possibly Sasha, too. Like, I won't be surprised if we lose them both.
I won't be surprised either, but I won't be surprised if just one of them makes it. Like, if it was only going to be one of them, I can see it being Rosita that goes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I can see it being Sasha that stays.
But see, I like what they found, and I like when they went back, but then it's like the episode last night, it was just... You know, Ezekiel knew, we have to fight. And Ezekiel had never once seen Morgan in that mind frame where he's a cold-blood killer. He's gonna, you know, like what he did to Richard. Let's go back to
that part, because we talked about what Richard did and all that.
Yeah.
Richard's plan totally backfired, and it ended up getting Benjamin killed, Morgan's little protege.
But the look on Ezekiel's face when Morgan is murdering Richard, he's like... about to be like, why, what is your reasoning? And Morgan already knew exactly what he was going to say. He knew damn well before he even hit him with the stick.
Well, he's still letting, even him killing Richard, he's still letting that he's still having that mean something.
Yeah.
Like, he's like killing him because, like, what he did, you know, like, he got Benjamin killed, a kid.
But
he's also making it do what it was supposed to do, because he still says to the Saviors what Richard was going to say.
He was starting to see the kid as his own.
Yeah.
And you notice Richard was treating the kid as if he was his own, but Richard was more of the controlling, keep your gun up. I'm going to tell you what to do because I'm an older figure and I see you as a son, but I'm going to be the asshole dad type. Whereas Morgan's like, who's the girl? You know, the more friend, father, like...
He never said who it was, huh?
Yeah, he never did. But Ezekiel, when Morgan turns to him and said it's his fault that the kid died, Morgan first says his son's name, not...
Yeah, he said Dwayne.
Yeah, he said Dwayne, not... what's it?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Yeah, he said Dwayne, not Benjamin. So it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's affecting him that bad.
Yeah.
They showed it visually too. It showed him having his flashbacks and stuff. Like he was having visions and stuff. 81 had flashbacks from the Clear episode, and that's why I'm like, oh god, he's going back to that. I don't think he's going back that far.
He just knows now that sometimes people who aren't walkers have to die.
Well, during Talking Dead at the end, when they had Lenny James on, Lenny James made a fabulous point, and I think it is how Morgan really is. He said, Morgan's not like anti-killing, you know what I mean? He's not just like straight up anti-killing all the time. He's the type, he just always says that there's got to be a better solution or a better thing to do before we get to that point. It's not that he won't do it. It's just that
it's because
there has to be better stuff to do. There has to be other stuff to do before then.
You notice, though, it's her and Carol, not her, Morgan and Carol on the same boat, whereas they started killing people recklessly. Where it didn't, like, if there's any sign of them being bad, like the wolves or anything at all, or even when Morgan was in his clear mind frame, you know, they had gotten to the point where they'd kill just about anybody for no good reason. And then it started to eat them up that, what if this person didn't need to die? And that's what screwed with both of them mentally, that I think that's what they connect on. And that's why she gave gave the cottage to him and went back to Ezekiel like, okay, we need to do something. Mm-hmm. And I love how Ezekiel was like, yes, I know, but not now. Like, not today.
Yeah, I mean, it was really shocking to see Morgan go instantly to that point. I mean, he hit Richard with his stick, like in the head, but then strangled him to death. Like, literally killed him with his bare hands. And like Scott Gimple said in the post show, like that's a lot of rage to kill someone with your bare hands. Like,
I was honestly wondering when and what was going to make Morgan snap, because you knew it was coming. And it was like the same ticking time bomb with when is Carol coming back. I know Carol's there, but she's not Terminus Carol. When is Terminus Carol coming back, you know? And it was just that kind of, like, suspension, like, ticking time bomb. When is Morgan going to realize some people do have to die and there is no other option? And when is Carol going to realize that same kind of thing? Because they were both, like, they didn't want to kill anybody anymore. Mm-mm. And now they know that, okay, we have to do this.
Well, yeah, because remember, Carol even got to the point of counting. Remember, she was counting how many humans she has killed, and that's what it was. I mean, that's what got to her.
I think one character that she did have to kill that really started to eat her up alive was Lizzie.
That's when it kind of started.
Look at the filling. Yeah. Look at the flowers, because when she really had to do that, she's like, why am I killing all these people who aren't walkers?
Well, remember when it really started affecting her bad? Remember it was when they took out the Savior's outpost. Yeah, and then she was taken captive by that group, by the women, you know.
And she was doing the crying and the hysteria and the oh no, you know, and I just kind of saw it as, oh, she's just doing that to fuck with them. But then it was kind of like, no, she's really breaking down.
See, and that brings up an interesting thing. I think we need to talk a little bit about Eugene.
Yeah.
About what he's doing at Sanctuary. Obviously, we know he lies to save his ass, you know. So obviously, we saw him bring up the old lie again to Negan now. But
I think the only way Eugene will seriously turn and switch sides from the group is if Negan puts him on a pedestal to show he does something, you know. Because if he meets back up with his group and he's like, oh, I found out all this inside stuff, because you know he's keeping tabs on everything that's on the inside. Yeah.
But what I mean is, like, if he was to run into Rick or something right now, he would immediately go back to our group. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not saying I don't think he's turned, but it's like, how far will he go in this light, to show Negan? Because Negan tests his followers, as we see.
Which is
and
something...
he's going to make Eugene do some savage shit eventually.
Oh, God, yeah. Which makes me wonder, what is it he's going to make him do? Like, what is it he's going to put on a pedestal for them to witness that he switched sides? To lead them to think that, no, he's on my side now. He's Negan.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I hope the other side realizes that, what I hope is that it's a front. He's not... He's calling a bluff. He's doing a bluff.
I mean, I still think it's a front, but just kind of near the end of that Eugene episode a few weeks ago, like it.
Oh, I know that end is.
It gets a little shady, like he's. I mean, he wouldn't even help those. He has it in to kill Negan. A way that would probably work.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't take it.
I think part of the reason
a small part of me agrees, because, like, just don't mess with it right now.
I think
that
part of it is because once Eugene went there and he saw the system of who follows who, what number you are, the lower your number, the higher your priority is, the higher your number, the more you could just get killed in 2 seconds.
He's surprised to see he's actually a person of importance there.
Yeah. And then not only that, but like on how he sees that there's a system, he knows that even if he did give the thing to the poison to the girls and they fed it to him in his drink or something, he knows that the system wouldn't just end. He knows that somebody else he knows that Dwight or whoever else would have stepped up and continued. Like, he was kind of, like, I mean, it would have worked, but I think he was kind of being smart about it because you kill Negan, he doesn't wake up.
Well, it's like it's like the things that people say about like the mafia and criminal like cartels and shit. You cut the head off a snake and 7 more grow back, or 2 more grow back. I think let's say, remember Morgan said this, like, well, do we have to attack all the saviors, or what if we get just Negan? Like, remember when he said this? If somehow they're able to kill, like, just Negan, just him, obviously, it would probably be Dwight, maybe, probably Dwight.
No.
Well, I don't know, because,
it'd be the
like
other
I
guy
said,
from Grand Theft Auto.
No, you're right. It would be him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I am for him. It would easily be him. You're right. You're right.
It would not be Dwight.
Yeah, because Dwight
walked over.
Yeah, I said that wrong. Because Dwight, as I've said recently, why we've been watching it, is I think Dwight's going to have one of those redeeming moments where he does something good, and then he'll die. But, yeah, it will be that guy. I can't remember his name right now, but his real name's Stephen Vaughn, I think, from Grand Theft Auto 5. But he would obviously take up... But this is the thing. If Negan was to die, I think a lot of them would leave. Because some of them are just terrified by Negan and are forced into this, but I think there also is a lot of them that are legitimately...
But there's also the ones that are like his right-hand man, like the guy, we can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He's going to try and be like, nope, I'm Negan now.
He would. It would be him, yeah.
And there's going to be more tyrants in there. Like the one with the long hair that shot the kid.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's the type to be like, oh, well, I think it would turn into what Daryl came across when it was like, Claim. Because Daryl, shoots...
the Claimers is the name of that group, the Claimers.
Yeah, see, I feel like it would turn into, like, the Claimers, where they would try to make it fair and be like, oh, well, if you claimed it, it's yours. Not if you got it, it's yours. It's, Yeah. Like, I feel like it would turn into that scenario. But one other thing I wanted to bring up was that we were talking about this last night when we watched last week's episode before the new one. We both think that Negan knows Dwight's wife isn't dead. That she's not,
Yeah.
And
Dwight's little lie about the doctor.
Because when we were watching it, you saw the way he kept looking at him like, you're really going to let me play this?
Yeah, Negan's way too smart.
Yeah. Negan is not going to be stupid enough to believe Dwight when it's Dwight's wife.
Yeah. Negan even tells the doctor, like, why would Dwight make that up? Like, he knows I'll burn his other face and kill him, It's like, why would he lie about something so stupid?
But then you see
so that has to get, like, Negan, like...
Yeah. But then you see the looks that Negan's given Dwight when he tosses him in the fire, and he just kind of gives that sly grin of, "You're really not going to stop me when he gives that look like a...
He does.
I know he didn't let him get away, but you set him up.
Well, because Negan has to know that story is absurd. There obviously wasn't nothing between the doctor and Negan's wife, Negan/Dwight's wife, whatever her name was. I can't remember her name now, but...
I know, I'm bad with names today, but that's what I think, is that Negan is leading Dwight to believe he believes it.
Well, remember, he just recently tested the shit out of Dwight, too.
Yeah.
So I think he still is. Like, he knows. Like, he...
Yeah. I think
it's
Negan,
going to come
no matter
back
what,
to that.
is always going to be a test. No, because even when we first meet Negan and he takes Rick into the motorhome and he leaves the hatchet for Rick to just take, he's all about tests.
He's always testing everyone.
Because he just wants to prove that they're not going to do anything. And I know he's not that stupid, so I think he knows Dwight knows that...
He's really, like psychology smart. Like, I want to know what he was pre-apocalypse.
He was supernatural.
I know, he was a supernatural demon hunter with Sam and Dean.
He was a father of 2 boys.
2 homos. I'm just kidding.
No, I like Supernatural.
No, I like Supernatural too. I just don't like Padalecki.
Yeah, Dean's cool.
I like Dean though.
Jason
Yeah.
Ackles.
Jensen.
Anyways, Jensen. I don't know why I always say...
Yeah, this is a Walking Dead podcast, not a Supernatural
I know.
one.
I just have a terrible, terrible case of the Mondays. I think I need a nap.
Yeah. I napped a lot yesterday, so...
Yeah, you did. But then daylight savings time really screwed with us, because... But anyways, back to talking Decay.
Yeah. Something else is going to come of that. Like, Negan, he has to be on to Dwight.
He has to be.
Especially since Dwight, like, escaped, with his wife and then came back. Like, that's why his face is burnt in the first place.
You know what else is? You know on how that last night's episode didn't go into Rick and Michonne or any of them?
Right.
What is going to happen? Did Tara tell Rick about Oceanside or not? Oh, I was going to come by and see you real quick. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, wait, what were you seeing me for? Oh, there's something I have to tell you.
That was the end of the Rick and Michonne episode, right?
Yeah,
so
that was the end of it. When they came back with all the guns and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because she knows they need more guns. She knows they found a lot of guns, but they need more. So I wonder when that's going to come into play is... Did Tara say anything to Rick about Oceanside? And did she betray the girl's trust that helped her?
I wonder if there's a way she tells him, but in like a way that doesn't really get that girl in trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
either way, it's going to get the girl in trouble.
Yeah, I know. There's really no way of doing it. I mean, maybe she tells him like she would only want to tell just him, and just be like...
But she knows he's going to go there with people to
And if she does tell him, I know she would tell him the full story, like there was, for the most part, they were kind of this weird group.
Yeah, she's not going to leave any sides out.
But there was this one that saved me, and this is why I didn't say anything sooner.
Exactly. I think that she would explain all sides of the story that she witnessed, other than, I just know where we can find more guns.
Well, because remember, what's his face that she was with on that trip?
It still hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
Because, when she gets out, you think he's dead, but then it turns around, and it's not him.
There was, a card there. Remember, she picked up that card, which, from the Talking Dead, after that episode, one of the actors on the couch said that it means something, like something will come up.
That's true. Yeah.
But something's still going on with that.
What if he met up with the scavengers? Or, I don't even know if they're called scavengers. I can't remember what they're called.
Or maybe he came across some of the saviors. I don't know. Or he was out the outpost, so...
I see.
it's hard to tell. We haven't seen him. I mean, he had the motorhome, though. He left in the motorhome.
Yeah, so when's he coming back to the light? And the picture... What happened to him? Where's he gonna be? What has he been doing?
Well, when that happened...
Why didn't he go back to Alexandria?
Yeah, well, the thing was what I was going to say about it. When that happened, they were pretty far off.
Yeah.
Like, they were by the coast, remember? She washed up... That's where that Riverside community is. It's kind of like on the coast of Virginia.
Because she fell over the bridge.
Or, yeah, Virginia, yeah. It would be on, the coast of Virginia or something.
Mm-hmm.
is where they're at, kind of down there, and yeah, because Alexandria and all that, and yeah. So I mean, we still haven't figured out, yeah, what the hell's going on with him. I mean, we kind of saw a preview of. I think the preview we saw at the end of last night's episode was kind of a preview of all 3 episodes that have to come, because it was like, you know, only 3 episodes left in the season, and it was just a bunch of savage, crazy-looking stuff. I'm trying to remember what some of the flashes were in it, but I just remember it looked really good.
Yeah, it did look really good.
I just remember it looked really intense.
It's getting to where it needs to be. I just hope... No, I don't hope. I know that Morgan and Carroll are going to come up with the smartest plan.
Yeah, and that's what I love. Like you said at one point.
After everything they've been through, they're not in the mind frame that Rosita's in. No. They're not in the mind frame that Richard was in. No. Because they've already been through that, and they started to feel bad for killing people who they afterwards thought maybe they didn't deserve to die.
All of them have vengeance on the brain, but Rosita is that stupid emotional vengeance.
She's the next Richard. That's going
to get a lot of people hurt.
She's the next Richard.
She's even a little more emotional than he was.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she is just going bonsai, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Or no, kamikaze is what it is. Like suicide bombers. So yeah, going kamikaze.
Kamikaze. I haven't had a kamikaze in so long.
But anyways, yeah, I love at the end, though, when Carol tells Ezekiel, you know what we have to do? Like, we have to fight. And he says, we do. But not today. Which I agree fully with. I mean, obviously, they don't need to go to war that day. But at least they all know that everyone has to fight. They need to build up their team. They need to come up with a plan, because that's the only way you're going to beat them. And I love the last scene we see is Morgan sitting on the porch, sharpening his bow into a spear. Mm-hmm. Which I told you at the time when it aired. I'm like, wow, that is symbolic. That is symbolic of
Claire.
Well, it's symbolic. Like, I'm ready to kill now, you know, because he's turning a blunt instrument into a sharp one. You know, like when it's the bow, you can just, as we've seen him use it a lot, he hits people to like knock them out. You know, he doesn't kill them. He'll just like hit them with the, you know, unless they're a walker. Yeah. But now he sharpened that shit to a spear.
I love how she used
which is
the
way
road
more
sign
violent and.
To kill the walkers that were coming up to her in the tree. She gets their attention. She just kills them with the road sign. Mm-hmm. But I will agree with I will agree with I can't think of his name, but what really would have been cool is seeing her savage and pull from Talking Dead. Chris Hardwick. What he said was, we were ready to see her go
all beast mode and pull the sign out of the ground. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been funny to see. That would have been awesome.
I like how she's like, nope. And then when they open the gates, she's just like, okay, I'm going to walk right in.
Well, yeah. Well, no, she was on a mission. She's just like, I mean, Benjamin tried saying hi to her and stuff, and she's just like, where's Morgan? Yeah. Where's Morgan? All right, yeah, we're getting down to the last minute or two, so we'll wrap this up soon. So what do you think we'll see on the rest of the season? I think it's it's obviously going to end with the start of the war, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is they're gonna get a more suspenseful, but they're not actually gonna make initiation towards war till the season premiere of next season. This season, it's gonna be them preparing. It's gonna be like cleaning out the little nooks and crannies of flawed plans. They're gonna.
I kind of have a feeling that we are gonna see Rosita and Sasha's little attempt this season.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Yeah, I'm sure we will, and I think that might start off an initiation of what everybody else is starting to plan to do.
And that's what's stupid. If they go ahead and do it too soon, the saviors are gonna know that. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily let them know that all these communities have come together to fight them, because it's obviously two emotional broads coming after him.
But why haven't they met back up with... They're too focused, and they haven't met back up with anybody else when, if they had paid attention, a lot more would have happened. Anyways.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, there's only 3 episodes left this season, so... Stay tuned. As we all know in the past, that's when it gets really good.
Yes, stay tuned to see, or not see, but hear what we have to say about next week's episode on our Talking Decay podcast. podcast.
Yes, it will be posted on the channel next Monday as well. So we will see you then.
Indeed, it's been a fun chat.
All right.
Not now.
All right, have a good one.
Maybe. Deuces.